Alright, ladies and gents, we're back. This is going to be a different DFT for today. It's right now, it's early morning, and I usually do my sessions in the evening. But I wanted to really try an experiment to see if I could get people cross server, because typically all my guests have been on the same server, and they've been guests that approached me through PF. So this time around, I was able to actually get someone who's cross server, and it would be Stokes Einstein, the white mage in the current party right now. You could say hi.
Hello.
Awesome, Stokes. Thanks for joining. I really appreciate that. I mean, if I gave you a brief explanation of why I started this project. So, what server are you from?
I'm from Exodus server.
That's a non-legacy, right?
I don't. Yeah, I think it is.
So I'm
What server are
assuming
you from?
since, sorry, yeah, I'm from Hyperion, so I know we've been mixed, and I don't talk a lot to a lot of non-legacy server people, so this is actually extra interesting for me. So I mean, I assume you're a Final Fantasy fan since you play this game, or just at least a WoW fan. I mean, not a WoW, sorry, not a WoW fan, but an MMO fan.
I actually wasn't a big video game player before Final Fantasy XI. Final Fantasy XI was what got me into it, really.
Oh wow, when did you start playing 11?
I started playing probably in about 2007 or so, and I played for maybe about a year, and then I had to do my undergrad, so I didn't really have time for it.
Oh well, and then now that you're doing college, you have all of a sudden you have some extra time now. You're able to get into 14.
Yeah, I'm a grad student now, so like our schedule's a lot more flexible, and I don't have homework keeping me up at night. I just kind of do my research whenever I need to.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Cause I know some grad students. I mean, and they still like are like they still feel, it seems like they're still in school. I mean, yeah, they work too, but it's a work, and like then after that it's just straight up whatever they have to do for grad school. It seems like you have a bit more
yeah,
flexible time, which is like for you. That's awesome.
yeah. It's well, in our program we have classes the first 2 years, and then after that it's like pretty much just research. So it's like having a 40-hour week job.
But I mean, I know I don't know if it's asking too much. So what would you mind specifically telling me like what you're into?
You mean my program?
Yeah, if you don't mind,
I'm a,
obviously.
oh no, I don't mind. I'm a chemical engineer. My research is in polymer simulation is like what I'm doing my research in. So it's like theoretical polymer materials, and I just kind of test
Ooh.
the theoretical properties of those materials to see if they'd be viable candidates for some sort of industrial relevant usage. But right now, I'm not under any sort of industrial partnership, so I'm just kind of looking at stuff that I think is interesting.
Um, Out of curiosity, like, what is the root of your interest in there, and like, how you got into like the whole field study?
Well, I started in polymer research, just generally in undergrad, and I thought, oh, why not? I'm not going to be imaginative in my grad school project. I'll just do polymers again. But actually, I found that I really liked molecular simulation more than anything else in programming. So that's kind of what got me into this side of it.
Wow, that's to be honest, you're the first person I've ever met that has that's in that kind of field of study. That's interesting.
I've actually met a couple people on here who have pretty similar research interests. Like on Exodus server, there's a guy who does really similar research to what I do, but he's in his first year of grad school, so he hasn't started doing too much yet. But it's kind of funny. I've met a few people with similar backgrounds.
Oh wow. So going back to 11, like I always love to ask, like, how did you initially start to play 11? What was your reason?
Well, my boyfriend at the time, who's now my husband, got me into it.
Oh, does he still play? Like, does he play 14 as well with you?
He used to, but he got kind of jaded with this game. He doesn't like it as much as 11. I think the whole rating aspect of this game kind of ruined it for him, and having this whole static group.
The whole restrict. Oh, like, he missed like the large like dynamics or like alliance rating type of thing, like big rating. Is that
I'm
what?
not sure exactly what he missed. I think he misses more like just screwing around in like the giant world that they used to have in like 11, and just messing around and having his own little adventures.
That is something I can actually agree on. It's not as I would say a lot of people say that this world is a lot smaller than 11 was, and maybe the how can I explain this? Like just traveling from city to city could be an adventure on its own because anything can basically kill you that's outside the gates because you
Yeah.
basically needed a group to take almost anything down. It could be a little rabbit, those little hairs, and they could link up and could just instantly wipe a party, no problem. And it's just like a same level mob. It wasn't the same, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas here, you could just like kind of just you could run around
You
with
go
no worries in the
anywhere.
world. Yeah, it's not really as restrictive. And for me, that fear factor kind of made it fun at the same time while exploring. You know, it's like okay, I could try to get explore new areas, but I have to be really careful because I could easily die. And you don't want to die because that trap. I mean, you took maybe like an hour just to get to where you are. You know.
Yeah. I just remember running into NMs on accident in that game. Like being a noob and not knowing what's this, just getting my ass kicked.
I think the worst, like, what expansions did you play, by the way?
Let's see. Forgot the name of all this stuff. It was the one where you go back in time. That's like right when I quit. What was that called? Goddess or something?
Oh, Wings of the Goddess. I quit way before
Yeah.
that. I started
Okay.
Rise of the Zillard, and I ended after I finished COP. So like treasures and stuff.
Okay.
When did you start? Did you start during the same expansion? Kind of ended same night, the same year.
I think so.
Oh man, you missed out on the what I feel, in my opinion, the golden era of 11. But it seems I've heard Wings of the Goddess was still pretty good, and after that, I think Abyssia was bad.
That's cool, yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, I heard like Abyssia ruined it for a lot. Maybe not for everyone, but a lot of people. And that's when people kind of started moving on. So what sparked your interest to try 14? I mean, other than the fact that you got more time to play again. Like, what made you like come back and try an RPG game like this?
Well, it just seemed like it was a good time to start playing an RPG in general, and like I loved 11 so much when I was actually playing it that I was like, okay, this is gonna be good. But I know like before Realm Reborn, it wasn't supposedly not very good. I don't know. I didn't play it. Did you play it?
I played. I bought a collector's edition pre-release, so I got like the whole. I started the whole. I think you got a few days early. Start. Sorry, hold on. I'm trying to grab all this before I start talking. I don't want to wipe the party. But yeah, I played the first 2 weeks release, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little disappointed, and I actually quit. And what actually brought me back is I came back in 1.23, which is basically the last like 3 or 4 months before the game actually went down for the whole like revamp. So I don't have a ton of experience in 1.0, but I have a little bit. Because the my initial impressions of when it first came out, it just didn't feel like a complete game, and I just feel like there wasn't a lot of content. Sorry, I'm home gaming. Fuck, I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's like, wow, he's suddenly taking all this damage.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not using my cooldowns. I am really distracted right now. Sorry.
It's okay.
That's why my sentences aren't really making sense, because I'm like semi-focused on this and I don't want to die.
Okay, I'll kill this shit. Here we go.
Surprisingly, during these sessions, I have yet to cause a party wipe, so I wasn't gonna let that happen there and then. Okay, where was I? I totally forgot. Lost my train of thought. That I was like near death. So yeah, like, what are your like qualms, and what are you enjoying right now in this game, 14 currently? Like, what's keeping you going right now? I noticed you have a novice. Is that a novice in your hands?
Yeah, yeah. What really gets me on this game that I like is my raid group actually makes it great in general. We have a lot of fun. I think if I didn't have the raid group that I had, it wouldn't be as enjoyable for me.
Do you have any? Have you ran into any old 11 friends by any chance?
No, I haven't. But
Oh,
I would be very, it would be difficult for me to remember anybody. It seemed like that was so long ago.
yeah, it's been actually been a long time. I just realized that. Um, how's your progression with your static? How are you guys doing?
Right now we're kind of stuck on turn 9, and we had to replace a few people. So it's taking us a little bit longer to catch everybody up to the same point in turn 9. But
What phase
we
are you guys at right now?
well, we're consistently getting to Heaven's Fall now finally. So we're just practicing that, but that just happened to us like Sunday. And our next T9 progression day is going to be this next Sunday. So hopefully we'll get some more practice post Heaven's Fall.
How many weeks have you guys been in there, getting to that point?
The majority of us have been in turn 9 for about a month now.
That's not too bad. It's about average. Honestly, T9, it's just like it's a steep learning curve, but once the healers get comfortable with like the way to like the way they pace their heals and where like exactly where the tank needs the heals and the tank knows like the proper rotation for the Raven speak and everything like that, it gets pretty easy and the healing demand feels a lot more like lax than it actually is initially. When you first get in there, you're like, holy shit, my tank just almost got one shot. That's because obviously
Yeah, we definitely had those learning pains at the beginning. Right now our problem is actually just DPS, not doing meteors properly and um, just other weird stuff because we're doing solo tank method and some shit just seems to happen when those golems come out. And like whenever the white mage tries to hold one of them, we have problems with DPS attacking the wrong thing or whatever. We've been having like a lot of problems with just DPS doing weird stuff.
Does your board ever accidentally forget to hit Earthshock? I know that's a common problem initially too for
Yeah,
some.
yeah, that happened a few times.
Oh, you do like. I think also a really if your DPS isn't fast enough, there's also a issue where the white mage is trying to stone skin everyone up for like mega flare and stuff, and all of a sudden the extra demolish gets out, and there goes all your stone skins, and you have to redo
Yeah.
them. God damn it. So anyways, actually I was gonna bring you in. I had like almost a predetermined topic I was gonna start with, but I ended up just like saying, you know, since you're just a random person I just got like out of nowhere and didn't really have like basically huddle time with you before starting the broadcast. Um, Out of curiosity, did you play any of the like Final Fantasy games other than MMOs, or is just oh yeah, so you weren't a big gamer. Never mind, you're right. Never mind. Do you happen to start playing games now? Now that you play MMOs?
um, Not really. This game takes up like way too much time. For me at least. Um, I've been reading more than anything with my leisure time.
Oh nice. Like what are you into in terms of reading?
I've been reading just like a lot of books that my mom throws at me. She's like a huge reader. She's thrown like Anne Rice at me in middle school, and she recently came back to me and said, I need to read the Charlene Harris novels, Stackhouse series, which is like what True Blood's based off of. Um, I started reading that, and I watched the show, and it's a little bit different after like the fifth book, but yeah, that's like the series I'm currently reading. I'm not sure what I'm going to read next. I actually never read the Hunger Games series, and my friends say I have to read that, so I think
Yeah,
that's
I've heard a lot of people
docket.
say that Hunger Games, the book itself, is actually really good. Like, obviously, everyone says the book is always better than the movies, but
Oh yeah.
speaking of Hunger Games, I don't know, it's just mainstream media and stuff. Who's the main? 'Cause I'm really bad at celebrities, but it's all over the place. About her name's something Lawrence, Jennifer Lawrence, or
Oh yeah,
the
Jennifer
actor
Lawrence. Yeah.
Hunger Games, about her release of inappropriate pictures. Have,
Yeah. The fappening as it's coined on Reddit.
I don't know. I'm not a big Reddit person, so I just recently heard about that, and you said Hunger Games, and then that's the first thing that popped in my head. It's like, hey, didn't that main actress just like get like in trouble? Like, didn't get like I guess a hacker got a hold of like some pictures of her, and of
Yeah,
inappropriate pictures.
they hacked Apple's iCloud. I guess for just her account. I've heard that they did it by using basically like some sort of password tool on the Find My iPhone app, and they were able to get into Find My iPhone, which apparently lets you get into the cloud as well.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, even you have to be pretty bold to send those kind of pictures through iCloud. I don't know. For me, it's just like there's you should know better that nowadays in today's modern technology that it's so easy to get like stuff through like especially something like the iCloud. I was expecting something like that would eventually happen. It's just come on, it's almost common sense. You're asking for it, you know?
Well, I think the way iCloud works is that you don't have to be fully aware that you're using it. Like if you're sort of a novice cell phone user, it just backs up your phone if you have it set up and you're not exactly sure when it's backing up. So
I
you
thought
could like
initially
take those pictures.
I thought initially it asked you if you want to connect to the iCloud, when you set up your iPhone or whatever device you use.
Yeah, I didn't set up mine, but I know that when my sister got her iPhone, she was at the store and they set it up with her, and she wasn't fully aware of what iCloud was. They just sort of said, "Oh, what's your Apple account, and all of that," and they just sort of set it up for her without her really knowing what it was. So I guess it's like pretty easy to get sucked into it without being fully aware what you're doing.
So I remember also because I remember getting pop-up notifications initially too when I would turn on my device. It's like, do you want to connect your this device to iCloud? And it kind of says that it's gonna be photos and all that other stuff, your schedule and everything, your calendar would be sent uh, up there too. But anyways, I don't know. I just feel like that's that kind of stuff I would be very wary of.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, then again, nowadays I don't know. It's with celebrities and just people in general. It's just like, okay, so you're a female. I'm gonna take advantage of this. What is the whole thing about? Yeah, I'm not saying that you do it, but like why do girls like to take inappropriate pictures of themselves and like put it into Tumblr and Instagram? Like, what is the whole purpose of that? I never understood. You don't see. I mean, I'm sure there's guys that do it, but it's girls specifically. They like to show basically nothing, and then they almost show it like to the world. Is there like what is the reason for that? Well, what is at least you feel like the rationale is behind that?
I feel like there is no rationale. I think that's just sort of the culture we're in. But in the specific case of the celebrities that were hacked, a lot of them had long distance relationships. So they were sending that personally to their boyfriends or significant other, and it got backed up to the cloud without them really being aware of it. And a lot of them in some cases said that they had thought they deleted the images, but they didn't know that they had to separately go on the cloud and delete the image. Like if you delete it off your device, it's not enough.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Wow.
I mean, in the case of like girls taking pictures like that mini case, I think that there's a lot of pressure on women to sort of be sexual in some cases and in other cases completely demure. And I think that the internet allows us to have some sort of escape from having to be secure. And I don't know. I feel like there's just like a lot of cultural pressure for us to know exactly when it's appropriate to be sexy and when it's not. And some women
I've heard.
use the internet as a
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
oh, I totally forgot what I was gonna say. These things are gonna fucking murder us.
I just realized that the other DPS, the black mage can one shot these. What's going on? Or two shot him?
I don't know. We're totally gonna die.
Let's see if this works. Come on, no break.
There you go.
Nope, still not enough.
I
Wow.
was just gonna say, holy shit, there are a lot of things lit up. We're dead.
I'm not gonna lie. This is the first one ever in DFT. We have made history.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Well, it wasn't our fault, anyways. Despite the fact that we're having a little conversation and we're not at fault. At least I don't think so. Well, I mean, some guys would also say is that it's also a form of, oh God, I don't want to be like, throw out cliches or stereotypical like labels and stuff like that, but it's typically the people who take those kind of pictures uh, are the type of women who really are striving to find attention. I don't know if that would be a
Oh, sure.
legitimate cause.
I mean, that would be the case if the photos were public in the first place online, but in the case of the photo leak, those were all private, like, personal use photos that were hacked out.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying in general because it's just some of them are just blatantly out in public. It's like, oh, like look at my body. Don't I look cute in this new bra and lingerie or whatever? I'm like,
Oh.
and it's getting more
Yeah,
like
I'm sure.
predominant in like, especially in the, like, you start to see even younger generation people do it. It gets a little disturbing sometimes. I'm like, wow, you're only like, back in my day, 90s, being a 90s kids, like that was unheard of,
I think it's always been the case. The difference now is that we have the internet, and it's easier to sort of have an anonymous personality and to sort of test the waters, like younger women, for sure, testing the waters, trying to sexy lingerie, posting it online and seeing what the response is, because they're not allowed to do that in public. So it provides them a way to sort of validate their bodies and validate how they feel about themselves. So it's sort of a weird form of empowerment, but at the same time, it can be very damaging, especially with cyberbullying and people slut shaming.
Yeah, you bring about a really good point, and now that I think about it, that's actually illogical like rationale and like a fair reason of why they do it, rather than just like automatically guys think, oh man, that chick's a slut, or actually if you actually think about it, it's not necessarily the case,
Yeah. I hope that's yes. I don't know if they're gonna get these.
Okay, I'm probably gonna have to like actually pay attention and actually throw some DPS on this myself. So how long did it take you to get your Novus? I know some people aren't even bothering with getting Novus because they feel like it's just like a retardedly stupid grind. Personally, I have two Novus.
A really long time.
Did you get it before hunting?
No. Hunting helped me out with the last little bit of my animus because of the myth. But yeah, initially the part I slacked on was actually the myth for the animus books. And once hunting came out, I just like totally got those done in like 2 weeks or something.
I should have been smart about it. I actually got my first Novus before hunts, and that's basically 60k plus myth going through Brayflux, and the struggle was real. That's all I gotta say. It's like I created very strong bonds with quite a few people because we would suffer like long nights of Doritos and Mountain Dew and killing the same two bosses over and over for endless amounts of hours. I don't know how I did it, but I did it. Why? Now when I look back at it, I had no idea why he asked me. So.
It took so long to get those first few books with Brayflux. I was actually kind of slow to get my Atma in first place, so like I did those Brayflux runs back when people were really bad, or when it started going really downhill. All the good people were done with it.
Yeah, that's true. I remember when like we had like a semi-static going on. It's like when we get on, it's like, oh, okay, it's time to go grind our books out. And then once one's finished, just like, oh, I'm sorry, dude, I can't. I would help you, but it's just they got so like burnt out from it. They just like, I'm sorry, dude, I just can't handle it right now. I'm like, if I was in your position, I'd probably say the same thing. So I don't blame you, But those fades though, before they fixed it, some of the waiting for some of those, it was really bad.
Oh yeah, I think the worst one I had was which one was it? It was the one at Southern Thanalan.
Oh, Heroes of the Second. I'm pretty sure that's what you're talking about.
Like, yeah, there was one I had to wait maybe like 2 hours for it. That was as bad as it was though, and I know that's not bad compared to like what other people went through.
Oh no, what was bad was before the 4 wins, it wasn't soloable beforehand before you fixed it. You needed at least like 2 people and two strong people at that. I don't know if you the 4 NMs in Natalan.
Yeah, I remember that one. I actually did need help on that one.
Yeah, I had to beg
I,
I just shouted, it's like, oh my god, my beta's up, please someone assist, I'll pay like 50k or something. Well, anyways, we're at the end of our dungeon, unfortunately. I just want to say again, Stokes, I appreciate you just, out of the blue, I just come in here, I asked you guys, and yeah, it was great meeting you. If you feel like you want to like re-guest again, if you feel like you want to do this again, just let me know like through either my Twitch or YouTube channel, and then just contact me if you feel like doing this again. Maybe you could bring like a friend or something. As I said, this is a community project. I just really just want to get the community more involved together and just start talking rather than just running dungeons blindly and just not realizing, why don't, this game is an MMO. It's supposed to be social to some point. So if you feel like you're interested again and you might want to bring like a friend or two, let me know. Hit me up. And for all you
yeah,
viewers, before we sign out, Stokes, before you leave, I know you already left the dungeon, but before you leave, is there any final thoughts? Any final things before you leave?
not that I can think of.
Alright, I appreciate it again, Stokes. And that's it for this session of DFT. Until next time, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.